All right, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for attending the Solid Waste Virtual Public Engagement Kickoff meeting. This evening, we're going to be going over the proposed updates to the solid waste section, which serves to update the solid waste element of the unincorporated Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Plan Hillsborough YouTube channel for anyone who would like to rewatch it. We do strongly encourage your participation during this meeting, and immediately following the presentation, everyone will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide comments. You can type your questions and comments into the chat box at any time, and if you would like to speak, please click the raise hand button to be recognized. We'll call out your name and then you'll be unmuted when it is your turn. If there's any questions we don't have an immediate answer to, we will follow up with an answer within a few days. I will now turn it over to our presenter this evening. Melissa Dickens is the Strategic Planning and Policy Manager for the Hillsborough County Planning Commission. Melissa, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Caroline, and thanks so much everyone for joining us this evening as we initiate the stakeholder and public outreach phase of the solid waste section update. We're looking forward to sharing what we've put together with you all. And so really quickly want to do some introductions. Again, my name is Melissa Dickens. I'm the Strategic Planning and Policy Manager for the Planning Commission. We're also joined this evening by Kim Beyer, the Division Director of the Solid Waste Management Division, as well as Travis Barnes, who coordinates with the Solid Waste Management Division and is actively involved with sustainability and recycling initiatives. In terms of a presentation overview this evening, we'll be walking through some introductions to the comprehensive plan and what comprehensive planning is. We'll talk through the high-level points of the update and share how you can provide feedback and make comments, and then we will open it up to questions. I did want to share that all of the draft language as well as other additional information is available at planhillsborough.org/solid waste section. And again, we thank you so much for joining us. This is the most critical part of our work on the solid waste section update, and so we're definitely excited to hear what you have to say and hear your feedback this evening. Really quickly for folks on the call who may be new to comprehensive planning, I wanted to share some quick information about what comprehensive planning is and what a comprehensive plan is. The comprehensive plan sets the long-range policy direction for a community. It's a document that's approved by the local elected officials, in this case, the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, and it provides high-level direction on a variety of long-range policy issues, particularly related to growth, things like land use, environmental protection, infrastructure, mobility, and public services. Comprehensive plans are typically updated every 7 to 10 years, and they are part of the Florida statutory requirements for every community in Florida. They're also something that you'll see statewide and, nationwide in other cities and counties around the country. And right now, the Planning Commission, in coordination with our partners at Hillsborough County, is actively engaged in an overall update to our comprehensive plan. We are undertaking this as a multi-phased, multi-year approach, and we are looking at each component or each chapter of the comprehensive plan separately or in particular phases. You can find some more information about these phases and how the process is happening on the project page for the comprehensive plan update. We're also working collaboratively with our county partners from the relevant subject matter experts on these topics through a collaborative process to develop the update. In terms of where we are in the process, the One Water chapter was adopted late last year. The environmental and sustainability section is scheduled to be adopted later this month. And then currently right now, as part of the April cycle, we are working on the coastal management, recreation and open space, and of course, solid waste sections. And we cannot underscore enough that public and stakeholder input is critical. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your comments, your feedback, your questions. And so we have tried to make it easy for you to get involved and stay connected. We do have an overall project page, which is planhillsborough.org/Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Update. And on that page, you can see the schedule, review, draft language for all of these components. You can also sign up to receive email updates and stay connected on the overall project. And so before we delve into the details of this section, wanted to share a little bit about how the solid waste section will be implemented. So as I mentioned earlier, comprehensive plan policy is typically very high level policy direction. I like to say at 35,000 feet. And then that's implemented through things like regulations and ordinances, such as the Land Development Code, capital projects and capital spending, education and outreach, so things like encouraging members of the community to increase recycling or promote composting, and then other programmatic elements that an example of that would be Hillsborough County processes related to solid waste and recycling. And next, wanted to provide an overview of the existing context for the solid waste element. Right now, I think I can share this freely that we have a fairly outdated disposal-focused solid waste element. The last time it went through any kind of major update was back in 2008, and much of the language in the existing adopted element was created prior to that, back in the 1990s. There are some overall challenges with capacity. The resource recovery facility is at capacity, and as we see additional population growth happening in Hillsborough County, all of the additional waste that's generated is being landfilled. And so we believe that there is a need to re-examine the long-term approach to solid waste management. And the comprehensive plan provides a great opportunity to do that, to look at solid waste management sustainably and provide a framework for rethinking how waste is managed within Hillsborough County. Some background on the solid waste section update itself. It's the first portion of the governance chapter of the Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Update, and the draft language was developed collaboratively with the other folks joining me this evening, as well as other folks from the Solid Waste Management Division. And the solid waste section update sets the long-range policy for sustainable solid waste management in a variety of ways, providing a framework for reducing waste generation and maximizing waste diversion, directing updates to other county documents such as the Land Development Code, exploring new opportunities for beneficial uses of waste, and providing policy direction to guide programmatic enhancements and capital projects. And now we wanted to get to the fun part, which is the highlights of the updated solid waste section. First and foremost, we want to set up the solid waste section to provide a framework for the county to be a leader in sustainable solid waste, both in practices and what we're asking of our citizens, and also by example. And this is through a shift from a disposal-focused plan, what is in the current solid waste element, to one centered on the integrated hierarchy of waste management. There's a great graphic that Hillsborough County prepared here on the right that shows the integrated hierarchy. It's starting with waste reduction as the most preferred, moving into reuse, recycling and composting, and energy recovery, with landfill disposal being a last resort. And we believe that this framework sets a great context for the solid waste section update and provides a great approach for how we draft the language. So speaking to that and to support that, we have expanded sections and more policy language on waste reduction, waste reuse, and recycling. We have some new language within the updated section on leveraging waste as a resource and energy recovery. We have an increased emphasis on coordination, partnerships, and collaboration, seeing where there are opportunities to coordinate and collaborate both internally and externally. and then also providing some clarity on some of the coastal policies and resiliency when it comes to solid waste siting. And there is one overall goal for the updated solid waste section, and that is to lead in waste reduction, reuse, and recycling in a cost-efficient manner to provide for sustainable solid waste management. That overarching goal is supported by 4 different objectives. The first is to adopt that integrated hierarchy that you saw on the previous screen. That's using source reduction as the primary approach, and then followed in order by reuse, recycling, and composting, and energy recovery. And again, landfill disposal shall be considered the last resort as part of this integrated hierarchy. We also have an objective about leveraging waste as a resource and evaluating and implementing beneficial uses for waste. So not just thinking of waste as something to be thrown away, but rather how can waste be used as a resource? The third objective relates to the county leading by example through its own facilities, through education and outreach, and really setting the standard and be willing to walk the walk in the community. And then finally, the last objective is to continue sustainable and resilient solid waste management siting and practices that protect citizens and the environment. So this slide shows the next steps and the schedule. Today, of course, is the virtual public meeting. Then next week on June 8th, there will be a workshop with the Board of County Commissioners. That will take place during the day after the land use meeting. On June 15th will be the Planning Commission briefing. That's similar to the BOCC workshop where it's an introduction to the language and the proposal and an opportunity for staff to share with the Planning Commission the proposed update. We are asking for any kind of public comments or questions or feedback on the draft to happen before June 18th. That's when we'd like to go ahead and get started on working on any revisions that come out of this public outreach process. So we encourage you to please submit the comments and feedback prior to that date. Moving to the 12th of July, it'll go to the Planning Commission for a public hearing. The Planning Commission makes a recommendation. So the Planning Commission is a recommending body, and they'll make a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. Then the Board of County Commissioners on August 19th will hold a public hearing. This is where the public has another opportunity. Also at the July 12th Planning Commission public hearing, the public has an opportunity to share any comments and feedback on the draft. Then the BOCC will vote about whether to transmit the amendment for state, regional, and agency review. And then provided that that transmittal decision is made, it will then come back to the Board of County Commissioners for adoption in late October. And wanted to point folks on the call to the solid waste project page. This is a really great one-stop shop where you can find all of the information about the update. You can review the draft language. We've also created what we call comparative crosswalks. So you can see today's language and what's adopted today and compare it with what is proposed. So you can see what's new, what's changing, and how the element is proposed to be modified. Also on that page, you can track the schedule and the phase of the updated section, so see where it is in the process. And then you can also review presentations such as this one and other background information. Again, that's planhillsborough.org/solid waste section. Also on the solid waste section project page, there's an opportunity to submit comments, feedbacks, and questions online. So we certainly welcome any questions and comments that you all may have this evening, but we also wanted to share that there's an opportunity to provide comments and feedback directly on the project page. It's located about halfway down the web page, and you can fill in information, send us a comment. It will reach us directly. Also wanted to share that all written comments that we receive will be included in the information packets that are provided to the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. So that's another great way to make sure that the Board of County Commissioners and Planning Commission are seeing what you have to say, reading what you have to say. They do read through all of the comments and feedback that we receive. So did want to share that as another great opportunity to provide input. Again, we are asking for comments and feedback on the draft by June 18th so that we have time to incorporate any changes prior to the public hearing. And my contact info, along with the glamour shot, is up here on the screen. You can call me, you can email me, or you can submit information through the project page. I'm also happy to, if you have specific, more technical questions for Ms. Byer and Mr. Barnes, I can pass it along to them so that they can respond to the information or the information requested or the questions you may have as well. And with that, that really concludes the formal presentation portion of this evening. We wanted to now open it up to folks who are in attendance and see if there were any questions or any feedback that you all had on the solid waste draft.
So I don't see anybody at the moment. Any questions in the chat or with the raised hand?
Caroline, can you remind people how they can speak or submit questions as well, please?
Yeah, so please, if you want to make a public comment and speak, please click the raise hand button. And if you're not comfortable speaking, you'd rather type your question in, you can just put your question or comment right into the chat box. But while we give people a moment to maybe collect their thoughts and write in their questions, Melissa, if you wouldn't mind answering a couple of frequently asked questions. Could you answer where can everyone see what is adopted in the current plan versus what is proposed in the update?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm going to go back a couple of slides. We do get this question a lot. Folks are very interested in seeing what's adopted today and what's changing. And so that can be found on the project page, planhillsborough.org, solid waste section. If you go down to the bottom of that project page, we have the comparative crosswalks. They're shown under the other documents link. And there you can easily reference, I have one right here. They look like this. You can easily reference what's new, what's proposed, what's changing, how things are changing, and see things really directly. So that's an easy way if you don't have a ton of time and you want to look at things from a very high level. That's a really great way to see things very efficiently.
Awesome. And then we did get one question asking, how does this impact the city of Tampa?
So this is for the unincorporated Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan. So it really speaks to the unincorporated county facilities, the unincorporated county collection and disposal. So there really is not any direct impact on the city of Tampa. Travis and Kim, I don't know if any of your facilities are located within the city that there may be an impact, but ultimately this is strictly for the unincorporated county.
Okay, that's yeah, and I think he had a follow-up, just said, does it complement what City of Tampa Waste Management is doing as well?
Travis, do you have any idea what City of Tampa is doing on their comp plan?
Yeah, I can weigh in. I'm not certain as to where they're at with updating any of their plans, but the proposed changes that we have in our comp plan update do further common goals that we have to increase recycling and increase waste diversion from the landfill. I'll kind of add that City of Tampa sends the majority of their municipal solid waste to their McKay Bay waste to energy facility that they operate. However, any overflow of material that's garbage often does go to the county landfill. So we have common goals to keep that landfill in operation and divert as much as we can and find beneficial uses of that. And the City of Tampa has lots of great programs they're working on to improve their recycling efforts as well.
And I'll also share that the Planning Commission does the long-range comprehensive planning for the city of Tampa as well. And so that update is coming over the next couple of years. They last updated their plan more recently, so they're not due for another update for another couple of years, but we'll be working closely, similar to this process, with their solid waste folks and the technical experts to make sure that everything is coordinated for the long term.
So that answers his question. And then Melissa, if you could also answer, what is the best way to give feedback?
Sure. So we welcome any feedback that folks have on the draft. You can submit it a couple of different ways. I think, let me go to the other screen. So you can submit it directly to us through the project page. That's probably the easiest way if you're on there anyway and looking at the draft to get the feedback or question that you want to us. Those go directly to our emails. Of course, and I will also reiterate that all feedback that's provided to us, we do share with our elected and appointed officials. So that's another kind of direct conduit to make sure that the folks who are the decision makers are seeing what the public and what stakeholders are saying and thinking. You also can email or call directly. You can submit any feedback tonight, or you can reach out to us after the meeting to send us your feedback and your comments.
Awesome. So I'm not seeing any other questions or comments in the chat. If anybody else would like to make a comment, please type in the chat or click the raise hand button. And if not, but I'll give it another minute just in case there are any other questions.
Sure. And while we're waiting, I did want to again thank both Kim and Travis and others from the Solid Waste Management Division for the excellent partnership on this update. It was truly a collaborative effort, and excited to continue to work on this with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. It was very exciting to work with you also. It's been a great partnership over the last year, so thank you.
I'll just add, since this is being recorded as well, the county has a lot of great information already available on the solid waste sections of our web pages as well about what can and can't be recycled. So for those that are interested, you can go ahead and take a look at what's existing. You can go to hcflgov.net/recycling and see the list of what we can and cannot accept in our curbside recycling program, as well as some cool videos of some of our processes.
All right, I think that's it for all the questions and comments that I see. So Melissa, if you want to wrap it up.
All right, well, again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you taking time out of your Wednesday evening after the holiday to learn about the solid waste section update. Again, you can visit the project page where you can find all kinds of information about the update and review the draft language and send us comments that way. And we are asking for any final comments and feedback by June 18th. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.